Good afternoon and welcome to the Day After podcast, where we're talking today about 2005's Nickelodeon animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender, directed by people whose names I have to say once, Brian Konietzko and Michael Dante DiMartino. I will call you Brian and Michael for the rest of this.
Fair enough.
Haley's here with me, and just to give you a heads up, I gave her some shit in the My Hero Academia podcast because she was stuck in the mud. I'll take shit for it this time. You tried probably 3 or 4 years ago to get me to watch this.
Right. We got about halfway through season 1?
We got halfway through episode 3.
Really?
Yes.
And that's where you jumped off? Wow,
Yes.
I couldn't remember. So I did try to show him, and for reference, I started watching Avatar after it was already done.
Yeah.
And then I blasted through the whole way. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Probably watched it 2 or 3 more times. And I was like, my husband/boyfriend needs to see this.
And guys, if you're here, just a couple of house cleaning rules. We have no time to explain the plot, so it's assumed you've seen this program before.
Right. It's been out long enough now. Come on, guys.
If you haven't seen it before, go watch our previous day's playthrough of the Avatar: The Last Airbender game. It's not great, but it's spoiler-less, probably. Oh, I was just worried about the blue one.
Sokka's trying his best.
What's Sokka doing?
His best.
This show, I was going through on my way home from work, looking for like positives and negatives, and when you click on the legacy of the Wikipedia article, all you see is it's like critical acclaim, one of the best cartoons ever made, most realized characters and story.
So you said something very interesting as we first started watching this, and as you first started getting into it again, which I really enjoyed. The anime-like quality of this, you had a comment on, but I couldn't remember exactly what that was.
Anime-like quality.
In that it is definitely a cartoon. It has a Western cartoon's humor, and really a Western cartoon's kind of hokey animation.
Okay.
But it's stylized like an anime.
Okay, I have one interesting story and one batshit insane story regarding this, okay?
Okay.
The boring story is that a lot of the animation for this got outsourced to Korea.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I did not know that.
What really baffled me is how they came up with the idea for this. Brian was an artist earlier in his life.
Okay.
And he pulled out, and this is absolutely real, you can read it on the Wikipedia article.
Okay.
He pulled out an old drawing he did of an old balding man. And he said, I'm going to redraw this as a child. And then he added stuff to it. He's like, he's going to be herding some bison, and he could be like an old shepherd. And he brought it over to his friend Mike. Mike or Brian, I get the names mixed up. And he's like, dude, check this out. Well, it's really interesting because I've just been watching this documentary about some travelers that were trapped at the South Pole. And they're like, okay, well, maybe there's like an air guy and a water guy, and they get oppressed by a fire, something, I don't know.
And then they just create, like, running with that idea, it sounds so stupid, and they create this absolutely inviting world.
They pitched that idea to Nickelodeon 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And they got picked up for a season, and after that happened, they got picked up for seasons 2 and 3.
Right on.
That's so wild.
Oh my gosh, God bless you guys.
The animation, oh god, I have so much to talk about. Jesus.
Yeah, we have no plan here. Normally we go in with a rubric of what we're going to talk about. We have no fucking idea.
Let me talk about just what I heard the most out of because on my lunch break, sometimes I would visit the subreddit The Last Airbender, and when my wife shot, it was like, Johnny, get out of there.
Get out of there! You're gonna spoil yourself,
and
dude.
Holy shit! Everybody could not stop talking about what is being wildly hailed as the greatest redemption arc in all of cartoons.
And that is?
It's my good boy Zuko. And he has this really defined arc from really straight villain to I'm a little confused about what I want in the life to I want to be a good person. There's a lot of themes of you don't define your destiny.
Well, and the best part about Zuko... Well, sorry, I should let you finish.
I'm done.
The best part about Zuko for me is I was frequently told, as somebody who grew up in a rather affluent household, the worst thing my parents ever did for me is give me everything I wanted. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't grow up that way, but I heard that argument from my peers.
Yeah.
At the beginning of season 3, Zuko got everything he was looking for.
Yeah.
He got everything, and he was miserable.
And they didn't say it this way, but like they gave them very fluent and pretty speech that it's basically like, this sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. Everything sucks. And that beach episode is so good. That part where they go to Ember Island, I was like, okay, this is a weird write-off where we just follow the Fire Nation dudes. Like, no, that is the whole reason why Zuko makes his turn.
Yeah, and I understand that is a good point of the turn, and that episode's got its own problems.
Right.
He's such a good, well-meaning guy. Fuck.
I kept telling you, like, almost every time where Zuko was on screen in book 1, I was like, I promise he gets better.
Okay, no, here's the thing.
I promise he gets better.
I knew he was a villain. I knew he was a main character. You kept saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, he gets better."
I'm sorry, he's
like
awful
your
right
dog
now.
wasn't behaving himself when you had guests
Bad
over.
Zuko.
Bad. And
Over there.
I'm like, I don't really need a lot out of him. This is already an okay show. Like, you don't need to have him be a super deep character. I had no idea.
Yeah, but like, oh my god, he's like, going back and watching season 1 Zuko after you've seen it, and I have this experience every time. I'm just like, oh my god, you're so one-dimensional and boring.
Does it become difficult to watch the second time?
No, not difficult to watch. I would not give it that hard of a caveat, but it definitely is just like, it's very much like, oh, you see where it's going, and it's kind of like you watching season 1 of BoJack. You're like, you know where it's going, and you're just like, oh, stop, just, oh, come on.
it's knowing how much better you get. It takes the just pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a fault of the show. Just, here's the thing is that people will just say, not out of malice, they'll say, season 1, the water book, is the weakest because they have to get all this world building. No, you do that world building so that I can feels later.
Right, because if you don't have the building blocks that you have in season 1, and I will agree, I told you from the outset, which is why you jumped off in episode 3 last time.
It's sorry.
It's slow. It is slow, and it's all character, and it's all world building. But if you don't have those building blocks in season 1, you don't care about 2 and 3.
We'll talk about him later, but I jumped off because of Sokka syndrome.
Yeah. And
we'll get to him, but there's too much to go. Let me tell you, did you want to talk about Sokka anymore? Not Sokka, Jesus, it's Zuko.
I don't know. I think everything with Zuko is going to be said. I love that redemption arc. So often the anti-hero villain turned good guy is done really, really poorly. In fact, I'm looking at the worst example of it up in the corner of our room up there.
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yes. As a diehard fan of those kind of guys growing up, God, Zuko is handled so well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I got an outstanding. So the best shows are the ones that give you unique experiences that can't be matched. Jesus Christ! Everyone wants Uncle Iroh to be their uncle
or grandpa.
Give me 1 second because I have a lot of thoughts here. I am the king of being spoiled in weird, wacky ass ways. Like, for example. I had an episode of Survivor spoiled for me because when I was driving home from McDonald's to go watch it, I caught the tribal council through the window of an open hotel window when they were at tribal council. I'm like, I know you, I know you. Oh shit, there goes half the episode. What a fucking stupid way. Okay, now guys, spoilers behind the scenes for the show. While we're watching this, we also started an episode of we started Samurai Jack.
Yes.
That's arguably Mako, the voice actor for Iroh's 2 most recognizable roles are King Iroh and as Aku, who is
don't call him King Iroh.
I didn't. Okay, Uncle Iroh. Okay.
Yeah.
But those are his 2 most notable roles, and when I saw at the end of the first episode of Samurai Jack, we're watching the credits and it says Aku is voiced by Mako, and I didn't even make anything out of that. My wife's like, "Wait, what? Go back. What? He's voiced by Mako."
Oh, and I mentioned we had just a few episodes ago had watched the Tales of Ba Sing Se, where at the ending screen of Iroh's little section of that anthology, it says "In memory of Mako."
And I'm like, wait. We're sitting here partway through season 3. And, okay, no.
Partway through season 2.
No, he gets captured, right, in season 2. I'm like, he better not fucking be dead. He better not get written off the show. And I was so sad that his character might be dead. And then, like, episode 1 of season 3, he's not there. And then episode season 2, he's not there. And in the third episode, you see him. Oh, he's there. He's not saying anything. What's the matter?
Why isn't he saying anything? Is he broken?
I didn't know that his voice actor had died.
Yeah, so halfway through season 2 of Avatar, Mako passed away. That is for anybody like me who had seen that Tales of Ba Sing Se episode and was too stupid to go look up what that meant. That was Iroh's voice actor, and if you're a fan of Samurai Jack, that is also the voice of Aku. he passed away halfway through the second season of Avatar, and they did get him a new voice actor.
I'm looking his name up right now because
I don't know who the new guy is, but he does a really good job with kind of what he was given, and with such a beloved character, such a tall order.
His name is Greg Baldwin.
Okay.
And he does receive some bit of a criticism, if only because you could never fill Mako's shoes.
Right, and Mako is fascinating. So he's kind of like, I don't know, he's got like Cher syndrome, where he's one of those actors/voice actors that is so famous, you only need one name. And they're like, oh, of course, that guy.
Yeah.
But
good on Greg Baldwin, because he had to replace him and he had to replace Aku on Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Which is just baffling.
Good on you, dude.
He's such a good, well-meaning character. He's got 5 disease where he's wonderful and you want to have tea with him, but he'll also fuck your shit up.
As he proved in the freaking finale. Oh my gosh, how good were those Zuko hugs?
Oh my god.
How good were the Zuko hugs?
Zuko, that is the strongest relationship, I think, between almost any two characters.
That's fair.
Definitely in this series, it's top 10 in things that I've seen, definitely in animation, because
yeah,
I don't think this show needs to be qualified. I don't think the show needs to be a football stat.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't need to be defended either. I mean, this is very much a show that over any other, I think, just sits there and speaks for itself.
It's so good. God damn.
We didn't talk about how weirdly hot Zuko was, because, oh my god, do you know how many puberties he started?
Are you one of them?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was already into it by that point, because again, I started it after the season was over. After the series was over, but he's got Katara problems.
He's got Katara problems.
Katara problems, where she's like weirdly hot.
Oh no! If we're gonna shit on meat, not shit is the wrong word.
We're not shitting on it.
Katara is very pretty, and it's a weird kind of hot where like you're a good character too, like a really good character.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Like I believe in you, and as much as you get like boiling rock collarbones, I get just Katara hanging around, and like it's super cute. They gave her hair loopies because they were easier to animate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's just super cute. And number one, it is we'll get to Sokka in a second. It's very, very refreshing to see brother sister duo, not dating duo.
Yes.
And it's very
not
much
like I'm dating someone, but it's not the main character. What am I gonna do?
He's so weird. And he's weird, but we'll get to him in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute.
Katara's whole thing is she suffered a tragedy and she wants to be good for her village and she has to, and it's...
So I start off hating most female characters, and I won't say I hated Katara. I definitely think like, the tragic backstory, this has been done before. No, the way she handles herself and the way she constantly emerges, like, it is like... I don't think most anime, most cartoons handle the coming of age story well, but Katara absolutely like grows into a woman in this series.
Definitely. Before I stopped going to the subreddit, there were like shots of season 1 Katara umbrella versus season 3 Katara.
Yeah.
Where it's just basically an air filter, and then on season 3 I'm stopping the particles in the air.
Right.
Oh my god. There's a couple of times in this series where I after the episode was over, I said, "Fuck your great show."
Yeah, that was.
And the one that comes to mind right now is when you finally get the full story of why her mom is dead, is because the Fire Nation came by and they were told there's one waterbender here.
Yeah, there's one waterbender left in the Southern Water Tribe. So the general goes to the tent where Katara's mom is.
And little baby Katara comes in, like, "I'm scared, help me." It's like, "Just leave, okay?
Go find your dad."
It's like, "Tell me who the one waterbender is." "It's me, okay? We promise not to hurt anybody else?" "Okay." Death.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So then the show never kills anyone. There's a couple of times where it's code for they're out of the picture.
Right. Which you thought they did that to Iroh, and then he does come back. Which is really nice. Speaking of Johnny's favorite episodes, why don't you go ahead and tell me about the Bloodbending episode?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I knew, like, back when this came out, like, in high school, I knew that bloodbending was a thing, so I kind of put 2 and 2 together when the puppet master showed up.
Right.
But that is such a... Number one, it doesn't drop it right away. There's a lot of hints about, okay, it's called the puppet master, maybe she's weird and turns you into dolls. But there's, like, people are disappearing. Why are they disappearing? Oh, because I'm bending them. I'm bending their blood. Well, there's water and blood. Holy shit, that makes way too much sense. And And it's so goth, by the way. This old lady who used to be in the water tribe, who was also a waterbender, is like killing a small radius of flowers.
Yeah, to make water.
To make enough water energy to bloodbend somebody, to literally bend them to your will.
Right, and that's what she's doing to Aang and Sokka, and she's like, "Oh, Katara, look what I do! They're gonna hurt yourselves unless you bloodbend."
And she does, and then it's like, you're not gonna hurt anybody anymore. I don't have to. I've taught you. You can do this horrible, evil thing.
Right, and Katara has to live for literally the rest of her life. Katara has to live with the fact that she can take somebody's will away from them.
We were doing a lot of comparisons to Death Note, and one of them was bloodbending is not evil. The ability to bloodbend corrupts.
Yeah.
And that's so fucking hardcore, and it's...
Yeah, you have to live the rest of your life knowing that you could do that. Even if like, oh no, I never would, but you could. And you have to live with that. That
I one day might do something horrible and hurt somebody I care really strongly about.
Right.
That's ridiculous. Oh my god, Sokka, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
We're neglecting
Jesus
Sokka.
Christ.
Sorry, buddy.
Sokka, I'm so sorry.
Sokka, you were the reason Johnny left.
No, I want to be the reason you come back. You did 2 episodes, and then you...
In a very similar way to Zuko, Sokka can be hard to stomach. Because you don't realize kind of where his... I would argue throughout, more than any other character, Sokka's character changes the least throughout the series.
You get to say that a lot about comic relief characters. I mean, to some point I get it.
But you don't really realize how important a figure Sokka is until, again, the series goes on a little bit. His character develops with the others' characters, and he kind of grows into his own. And I say that with a weird term because, again, he's not really changing. You more understand why he's there in the first place.
And you seasons 2 and 3 are very good about knowing that if it's going to be a heavier season, let's give Sokka one. Throw Sokka a bone up top.
Yeah, he gets the Mushroom Samba episode.
I was talking about his sword, but if you want to talk about the one where he gets high as fuck on cactus juice.
Good job, buddy. Are you having fun?
I am having so much fun. Good for him. Oh my god. He's such a good...
Right. So Sokka, Johnny was not on the Sokka train and jumped hardcore on the Sokka train.
There's my turnaround.
Can we talk about the best character in the series now?
Appa. Was that who you're going for? Okay.
Yes. God, yes.
He's big and fluffy.
Look at him. I love him.
He's got so much character without saying any words.
I need an Appa plushie.
Oh
he has his own episode.
He has his own episode where, like, he gets fucking kidnapped and you have to deal with a series of episodes where he's not here.
He gets sent to a circus. Do you have any idea how hard it is to make an entire episode out of a character who can't talk?
By people being dicks to him, and then people being good to him, and then him yeeting himself out of there. Oh.
Yeah, Appa's awesome. Appa's great.
Aang just fucked that shit up. It's nuts. Ugh.
Do we need to talk about Aang, or do you want to just move on?
Do you want to talk about Aang?
I mean, Aang's the main character.
Oh, yep, probably.
He has personality traits. Some of them suck, some of them don't.
He's a good placement character.
Yeah, he's a great, well-rounded character that you don't hate, but you're also kind of like,
He's kind of he's got a little bit of Batman syndrome in the finale.
Oh yeah.
Where the finale, I think if you love a show, you deserve to be able to criticize it. It's a little flabby.
Right, and I was really curious as to what you thought of the finale, because from the beginning, since I've watched this show, the finale has never quite settled on me right. And I get the little Deus Ex Machina. I can kind of overlook the taking the bending away thing. The death ball of thing goes on a little bit, and Aang just kind of gets his chakra back by accident, and he doesn't have to pay for it.
That was a little weird.
But I do like the moral ambiguity that Aang has to face of that. Is killing ever right?
I guess. Yeah.
And I will say, in like whether or not you agree with that sentiment, this show kind of handles to Aang, this is a very big deal, and you believe every second of his torment, which I do really appreciate.
So, was that all?
Yeah.
according to TV tropes, this show does a great job of subverting a TV trope called Dawson casting, which is where your character is much older than your counterpart. So Aang and who we're going to talk about now, Toph.
Oh yeah,
they're dead on. They're like the same age.
Yes,
and
even both 12.
Even Katara and Sokka aren't that much older than the characters they play.
Yeah.
So Aang did a very, very good job. I found myself thinking in his voice when I was thinking about this show.
Yes.
Toph, not so much. I think that the female voice actress needed a little bit more work.
Okay, that's fair.
But mainly she fell into the role of the character a lot. And
yeah, we didn't really talk about Toph as a character.
Well, no. Here's the thing: is that you get a character with a disability, and it comes up, but like there's never an episode where you're like, oh, I gotta get over my disability. No, she has had lots of time to get over her disability.
Or it's like, yes, I'm a stand-in for disabled people everywhere. Not that, like, that's not a good thing, but that your disability should not be your only character trait. And with Toph, it never is.
It's not even a character trait ever. Like she's making jokes about it.
That's the only reason she can metal bend.
Yeah. It's because she's blind?
It's because she can feel the earth with her feet and hands, and thus can feel the earth inside metal.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes, because metal is just refined earth.
You meet her in a very good standalone episode where I knew she was coming. I didn't know that this was her.
Yeah.
And she's got these fucking Daredevil powers.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. And God, she's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a great character, great addition to the team, without ever being in the way. No. Which I appreciate.
And she's doing everything like she's got limits to her powers. Like if you're ever in a floating dirigible, you're like, fuck, this sucks.
The way the show treats what I call quote unquote one-offs.
I have a theory. Go ahead.
So John does have a theory, and he will get to that in a second. Yes, you can call them one-offs in that their plot doesn't necessarily majorly impact. However, details of every single one of those one-offs matter.
It would,
and that leads you to the question of are they truly one-offs, or are they just part of the story?
It's just it's so refreshing that you can have a back-off episode and then it still comes up.
Yeah, not in an in-your-face, like, overly, an overly in-your-face way, but in just a, oh, hey, remember that? Oh, hey, remember that? Oh, hey, remember that episode where Katara gets, like, fucking crazy mad because she found the guy who murdered her dad and bloodbends again?
Yikes. It's important. Remember that time we had a bunch of hillbillies pretending to be a Scooby-Doo ghost?
Yeah, now they're going to be a Scooby-Doo ghost at the North Pole.
For real this time, but for the powers of good Scooby-Doo ghost.
Yes.
What the fuck? I gotta have to come up with pictures so that people watching this have no fucking idea what's going on.
Sorry.
I was astonished at the episodes that I would find great, including a season 1 episode wildly called The Fortune Teller.
Oh yeah, I never expected you to love that.
It's such a fantastic depiction of everybody's character, because Sokka's a very big cynic, and when she's like, y'all motherfuckers believe in this fortune teller who can tell everybody's future,
but can your science explain why it rains?
Yes! Ah! and it's Katara, who's usually a really like nice and put together character, is like, you gonna tell me who I'm gonna marry? And so she goes to this free fortune teller like 85 times.
Yeah, until like she's become a nuisance.
It's such a good standalone. You get to learn a lot about the characters by throwing them into a situation like that.
And that's pretty much kind of what all of season 1 is. And throughout seasons 2 and 3, they still kind of pepper in those just pure character building episodes, like the one where Katara the painted lady episode.
Yes, very good.
Get to kind of show Katara that's like, okay, like, I get what you're doing, but nah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Sokka's sword episode, dope.
Aang's school episode.
The Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Oh, the Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Here's another creative.
Okay, no. Please tell the audience our experience with watching Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Here it comes.
So when we dove into the Tales of Ba Sing Se, I told John, I was like, okay, great. This is a 3-part anthology.
And here's the thing: is that I was like, oh, great, I love anthologies. I get my dick hard for anthologies. And you weren't being mean. You had just forgotten literally half of the segments.
Because I only remember the 3 good ones.
Oh my god. So there's Katara and Toph having a ladies' day.
Yeah,
and
woohoo.
It's great. Okay, that's a good one. And then there's fucking Leaves on the Grass, there's Mako voicing his own funeral episode, his own memorial episode is fucking ridiculous.
Oh god.
And then I'm
Brave
like,
Soldier Boy. Oh my god, I fracking cried.
there's so much episode left. I'm like, okay, maybe Aang's doing something special.
Oh yeah, and Aang saves the animals. That's a thing.
It saves the animals when they break out of the zoo, and then I'm like, oh, there's a fourth one I didn't know about. And Sokka has a goddamn rap battle against a female school of haiku girls.
Which I didn't remember at all.
Oh my god, it's fucking hysterical. He's dope as hell, and then he gets one syllable out of his line, and he gets thrown out of school. I'm like, oh, that's really fucking cool. And then Zuko's got a little bay for one episode.
Yeah, Zuko's got a little
It just
bay.
keeps going, and I'm like, how much has my wife deceived me?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
And then like, okay, of course the episode's done. No, we gotta have a Momo episode too.
Of course we had.
What the fuck?
Oh man. But there are other YouTubers who explain the beauty of the Tales of Ba Sing Se, so please go watch those because it's an amazing episode. In fact, go watch Tales of Ba Sing Se again.
Just right now.
Just go watch it right now.
Oh my god. You gave Momo a fucking episode. I don't have other things you want to touch on.
Did you want to talk about Azula?
I don't like her.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
No, it's not even like a good villain. Like she's a rat. Like the finale.
A chief complaint among the fan base is they're like, I wish we would have gotten one more season, if only to expand on Azula.
I did hear that.
More.
I have a petty complaint. I cannot hear Azula without hearing Vicky from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, it's the same voice actress.
I believe her name is Grey Delisle. I'll fix that on screen if it's wrong.
I appreciate Azula for kind of, and you don't really meet her until season 2 if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
So she is just kind of this overhanging death threat, kind of a stand-in for the Fire Lord. And again, I'm really kind of sad that you don't get more to do with her, because in season 3, I only really kind of appreciate her downward spiral after May and Ty Lee leave.
One thing,
if you know it's coming, like that's the only way you can fully appreciate that, rather than like in that the first time I watched the show, in that final battle with Zuko and Azula, I felt the same way John did. Like that didn't even feel like Azula he was fighting.
I want to make a reference, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Azula went out the way that another character from a show that I enjoy watching from time to time went out. It wasn't a noble death.
No.
It was a pissing and screaming and crying death.
Yeah.
And I mean death like maybe she's not alive anymore. The show, because it's Nickelodeon, they can't say death, but they can heavily imply it, like when Jet is critically injured and then he never comes back.
Then he fucking disappears.
Okay, at first I didn't like that Jet had a single episode and then came back for a group of episodes.
But it was to show you a concept.
No, he definitely served a purpose, and I'm glad that happened. They have to play like that, and that's okay, I guess. But yeah, she died a really terrifying, like, weeping, thrashing death, and I really respect that.
And I would love more character development with Azula, but every time I watch this and kind of study her character more, to give her more character lessens her threat.
Okay.
Lessens kind of the absolute badassery and just the pure terror she brings to those Ba Sing Se episodes.
Oh yeah.
Because throughout, without that character development, she is just this unstoppable beast. That eventually kind of devolves down into a beast mentality as she loses her sanity after her friends leave. Again, I would have liked more with Azula. I understand that
if you've got 21 episodes.
Yeah, I understand the choices they made with her. And so it's one of those, I get it. I don't know. It's always left a bad taste in my mouth.
Somebody's gotta get shafted on the time slots.
Right.
I don't know that we would have needed a full fourth season, but it was a well-earned finale.
Right.
I guess if we're talking about Azula, I really appreciate how deftly and adultly this show handles some really mature themes, like war, genocide.
Yeah, fucking genocide. You find out in episode 3 that every single person Aang knew is dead.
That's fucked up.
And he has to deal with that.
Imperialism, toxic nationalism,
racism,
systemic sexism.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Richard? Like,
you were saying that the entire show.
I
Just what the fuck, Richard?
it's really definitely handles like allusions to really dark themes really well for a kid show, and this doesn't have to be a kid show.
Right, yeah. The world is so well built, with a few darker themes and age the characters up. This could have easily been, an HBO special.
Mm-hmm.
And we happened to hear that for kids. And like, I'm not going to defend that choice. It was a choice, and it made the show what it is.
Okay.
But I appreciate the show for what it is, and appreciate that it handles really, really serious stuff.
Well, if I can not spoil because it's public knowledge. In March of last year, they announced that there is a live action Netflix series.
Oh, right on.
The show coming out.
Yeah, we didn't watch the Shyamalan movie. If anybody in the comments
just a heads
is
up.
asking.
If you would like us to watch it on a separate podcast, we will not taint the joy of the series by talking about it here.
No,
but if you think it's important for us to watch, we'll do it.
When we started going ahead with Avatar, John said, "Okay, we have to end this with a Shyamalan movie." I was like, "No, we fucking don't."
I was like, "No, I'm having too much fun."
Right.
I kick my feet and eat my popcorn and hope Sokka doesn't die.
Zuko.
Oh my god, it was so funny that in the 2-part Boiling Rock episode where they break his dad out of.
Oh, that's such a good set of episodes.
I just remember shouting.
I love all of season 3.
Zuko Sokka episode. Oh my god.
And everybody else gets a fun journey with Zuko except for Toph.
Man, it's so fucking. There are a couple of moments, and I have a couple of moments where I literally I was yelling on the couch. Second half of the journey of the Day of Black Sun.
Yes.
Where for some reason I thought, if you fucking kill Sokka, I will lose my goddamn mind.
There's so many characters he thought was dead.
And halfway through the finale of Sozin's Comet, I'm like, did you just fucking kill Zuko? Why do I care? And that's the best part about the show is that I care.
Yeah, right. It makes you care so deeply about its characters, especially characters like Sokka and Zuko, where if it didn't play its cards right, would be just unbearable to be around.
You guys are just the worst.
And that's part of what makes me sad about the finale is the Day of Black Sun was so good.
It's so fantastic. It's a very tight hour.
It's so good.
Tight 44 minutes. Do you have anything else you want to lean on? Because I have something I want to go out on.
Okay, go for it.
I want to go out on something that helped me bond to the show and actually watch it through the second time we attempted. They're what I'm going to call patent pending Johnny's Naruto-Ass Moments. Because it's
You're talking about the bending?
It's so easy in a show with magic powers in massive air quotes to just do whatever you want, but they have really creative uses of their powers that go just constantly, almost every episode of season 1, many episodes of season 2. How are we gonna get through the clouds? Okay, well, you could do air and I could do water. Let's just cloud bend as a team. Eat shit, both of you, and have wonderful babies. Or they trap some earthbenders in a prison, but there's no earth to bend. Okay, well, what are they burning in that chimney?
Oh, they're burning coal! They're burning coal, John!
Oh my god, what the fuck? I wish
Katara uses her sweat for water bending.
What the fuck? And that the bloodbending itself is a translation, and that's wild.
Crazy ass bullshit. And what I love about their bending is it always has rules. It never gets blown. It occasionally gets blown out of proportion with the Avatar state, but those are kind of few and far between.
And when Korra takes down Azula,
Katara.
Excuse me, damn it, I'm doing that the entire series. Sorry. When Katara is taking down Azula, at the end I froze all of us together, melted just me, scooted my way around you, and then chained you to a grate.
Just Naruto-ass bullshit.
It's so much Naruto-ass bullshit. They were good about that.
If you want that podcast, by the way, you better start begging.
It's been a while. Give us, we had a really good orgasm watching Naruto the first time. Let's wait.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's been Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It was a good ride. I'm so glad he stuck with it this time. And I told John as we ended the final episode of Sozin Comet, I don't know how to describe it, but this show is so important. It's important in a way of mixing East and West animation, East and West themes. It's so important to show what good character writing can do, what good art can do.
What fantastic pacing can do.
And what fantastic pacing and storytelling. And this is a kid's show.
Yeah.
This you do not have to like break the walls and have a freaking HBO series where this guy has to, oh, I don't know, maybe create some kind of hard drug in order to pay for his cancer bills. You don't need to have that heavy tone all the time to create a good story.
This is, I think, the king of when somebody says like, "Oh, that movie sucks." Oh, well, don't matter. It's for kids. Fuck you. Go put on Avatar for your children.
Right. Yeah, they'd also be satisfied with something good. But before we leave the audience, do you have any thoughts on Katara or on
Korra.
Korra?
Would you in the future like a Korra podcast? Because ba- based on the positive reaction I've given myself on this, I absolutely would go into the Legend of Korra.
Yeah, and give us a little while. You don't want to do that too fresh. I've learned from Avatar.
Yeah.
But Johnny, do you have any kind of thoughts or speculations on Korra?
On Korra, I've heard there's now there's a girl with two boys, and one of the boys has a very silly raccoon or something, and there's a tournament arc that people don't like as much because it takes a bunch of episodes.
What?
And there's also a fuzzy raccoon that people like.
There's also a fuzzy raccoon.
And I can't remember there being a bad guy, but I remember Korra being really fit and possibly a lesbian, but
yeah.
No, we're not talking about that. I didn't watch the series. You were watching the series when we bought our first apartment, and I remember being so amazed that I had a home that I ignored your show.
Yeah, and that was back when Korra first came out. I'd started watching it while it was in the middle of coming out that time, so. But I've now seen all of Korra, and I have thoughts on it, and you'll have to hear those thoughts some other time.